Olympic champion.
So how long does that fight last?
Listen, my opinion, it's 1 round.
There's been some talk about possibly Joshua using Jake Paul as a tune-up to fight you. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about tune-up. I think Jake Paul knocked him out.
That
Anthony by murder.
by murder.
Yes.
Golly.
Might knock his head off a little bit. Like, it might be special effect, but it might, like, go out.
Like legit.
Yeah.
Boxing legends are weighing in with their predictions for the Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua showdown. Alexander Usyk delivers one of the most direct opinions, stating this fight won't last beyond the first round. Having shared the ring with Joshua twice, Usyk says he fully understands the force and explosiveness Joshua carries. In his view, this matchup is driven more by business than true sporting value. He believes Joshua needs only a single clean opportunity to show the massive gap in power.
Complaining about AJ taking that fight. Obviously, it's a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
Do you see something wrong with AJ taking that fight?
This is just a lot of money, just a show.
Right.
This is not interesting sport because, guys, brothers, Anthony, it's Olympic champion.
Right.
Jake, it's just sportsman. Yeah, YouTuber. Jake do a lot of work. Special coach, special food, a lot of exercise, new.
Yes.
But this is guy don't have a mother fights.
Right.
Never
Right.
a mother fights. Maybe them wrestling, now professional, but Joshua, Anthony Joshua, it's Olympic champion.
So how long does that fight last?
Listen, my opinion, it's 1 round. Because Anthony, twice. My fight twice. Jab,
Very hard.
yeah, look. You know, this is,
And still from his
this
fight.
is jab.
To Tyson Fury. On the other hand, surprises the entire boxing world with one of the boldest predictions yet. He claims Jake Paul will knock out Anthony Joshua. The statement shocked fans and analysts alike because it directly opposes nearly every expert opinion. Fury argues that Jake is physically evolving, adding size, training with heavier athletes, and growing into a more solid fighter. He believes Jake's momentum and confidence may outweigh Joshua's experience. Known for unexpected comments, Fury still insists he is serious. He views Jake not as an internet celebrity, but as someone who has dedicated himself to legitimate preparation. His prediction remains wildly.
Some talk about possibly Joshua using Jake Paul as a tune-up to fight you. What are your thoughts on that?
I don't know about tune-up. I think Jake Paul knocked him out.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why so? What impresses you about Jake Paul?
I just think Jake Paul would knock AJ out. I think AJ's been fourth, and I think Jake Paul's on the rise. And I like his new heavyweight look.
Teddy Atlas approaches the matchup with a strategic mindset rather than emotion. He acknowledges Joshua's enormous strength, but he also highlights that Jake Paul is not entering empty-handed. Atlas points out that Jake's youth brings quicker recovery, more willingness to take risks, and a level of hunger that older fighters often lose. He notes that Jake's footwork has shown improvement, allowing him to move in ways that could challenge Joshua if AJ underestimates his mobility. Atlas emphasizes that every fight has two sides. While Joshua holds the advantages of size, championship pedigree, and technical experience, Jake possesses tools that cannot be dismissed. He explains that Jake's mental freshness, combined with his growing confidence, could create small openings. These moments may be brief, but they exist, and Atlas believes that possibility alone means Jake deserves to be taken seriously.
While we look at all the advantages that Joshua has, let's look at how I look at where maybe Paul has some advantages. He's younger. His feet are a little faster. I know he's not at that level of a fighter, I get it, but his feet are faster. Joshua's feet are not that fast, closing gaps, getting to somebody. To hit him, even if you're better than him, you still got to get to him to hit him. Also, Joshua, last time he fought was over a year. He hasn't fought. He was basically retired. Where's his mind at? He got knocked out terribly by Dubois. Where's his confidence? Where's his mindset? Where is he? Is he taking this fight the way that fans are, overlooking Paul, taking him for granted? Yeah, it probably is. Might be. Does that weigh in? Yeah, that weighs in. People don't look at those parts of it. And the weight. Paul's smart. He always puts clauses in there. I know this is the first time he's fighting a guy who's bigger than him and all that stuff, but he put in a 245-pound weight clause where he can't come in over 245. What is Joshua weighing? He was off over a year. He was basically retired. Was he 280? Was he 290? Was he 275? Easily could be the case. He didn't have a lot of time now to get to 245. How does that affect him? Oh, we forgot about that. It's a little thing, but it's not that little. It's the thing that Paul put there for a reason. Again, Paul hasn't made too many mistakes. He's been pretty damn smart. I'm not saying he's the fighter that Joshua is, but I don't know if Joshua's the fighter that...
Lamont Roach speaks with a mix of respect and caution as he analyzes the fight. He makes it clear that this matchup is not balanced, emphasizing that Joshua's natural strength and technical background create real danger for Jake Paul. Roach explains that Joshua doesn't need to unleash full power combinations to cause serious damage. A single fully committed punch from Joshua could shift the entire fight instantly, due to the gap in physicality and professional experience. He stresses that heavyweight power is unlike anything Jake has ever dealt with, and stepping into the ring with someone of
Excuse me. My first thoughts was this guy's crazy. Not gonna lie. But I get it. Coming from a guy who's not a true traditional boxer, and to be able to have a position where he can fight a former unified world champion, former Olympic gold medalist, and to do it on such a stage where Anthony Joshua was a superstar as well. I mean, like, he sold out the O2, twice.
Absolutely.
I think. So, I think Jake is setting himself up for, a huge spectacle, and which is, kind of smart. If you're going to go big, why not go to the highest, like the highest of the mountain? Why not? And I get it. That's what you call business right there. And I seen a lot of guys calling them out, from like Gabe to, other guys who are boxers. Yeah, like guys who actually beat him. But why would he settle for those guys when he could fight Anthony Joshua? So I think that's, I think that's smart. I think that's super smart.
Smart is one thing. What do you think happens in the ring, though, champ?
I think he gets hurt, for sure. I think he gets obliterated. Something close to like Francis Ngannou. I think something like that happens, and it's going to be bad for him. But there will be a
live. Andrew Tate delivers a straightforward reaction, focusing less on prediction and more on respect. He says Jake has stepped into a massive moment, one that most people would never dare to face. Tate praises Jake for taking a risk of this magnitude, acknowledging that challenging a fighter as powerful and seasoned as Joshua is something only a few would attempt. For Tate, the outcome is secondary. The courage to accept such a dangerous challenge is what matters. He believes Jake's willing
is scared for Jake Paul. All right, great. You know what? Thank you, Sean. And now that's now my phrase. I'm going to steal that from you from this moment. I'm going to use it going forward, because I didn't know how to describe my feeling about this fight, but I just got it. I'm glad I thought of it right after I read Sean O'Malley said it. Sean went on to say, there's certain punches, there's certain knockouts, there's certain concussions, there's certain ass whippings, there's certain beatings that are not equal to others. They're the kind of knockouts, of punches, of concussions, of ass whippings, and of beatings that change your life. They change lives. And O'Malley didn't elaborate on what that meant, but I know what he meant. I know what he meant. There is a confidence that a person has. From the guy that walks down the street, the most confident, he walks in the room and he's the man and he gets to live his life feeling that way and people will treat him that way. All the way down to the coward who walks his wife like he's weak, who handles everything sheepishly. But one thing those two guys have in common is that neither of them actually knows where they stand neither of them has actually tested that theory. They got all the rest of society to go along with it. Therefore, they don't have...
A professional UFC bantamweight and close friend of Jake Paul speaks openly about his concerns. Ahead of the December 19th main event in South Florida, he admitted on the Bro Ollie show that the matchup terrifies him. Ollie warns that getting knocked out by a heavyweight like Joshua can have life-changing consequences, not just career setbacks. He says Jake's decision to step into the ring with such a powerful fighter is absolutely insane, emphasizing the real physical danger involved. His message highlights the serious...
So one more thing before I let you go. Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua, your thoughts on this fight? And Mega won?
Yeah, huge respect to Jake. I mean, we all know what should happen on paper, but it's boxing. So huge respect to Jake.
Francis Ngannou performance. What if Jake makes it 5 rounds, 6 rounds? What if Jake made it to the distance? What if Jake won a round? Now, it's very hard to believe. It's very hard to imagine. I think it's the big struggle with this fight. I cannot, off the top of my head, produce a fight for you in any form of unarmed combat that drew, that was exciting, where the audience did not have a reasonable expectation, an expectation to some degree that, well, if he does this or that, there is a way for this guy to win. And it's usually pretty easy to do because nobody knows anything about fighting. Nobody watching this right now, none of you, my millions of viewers, not one of you has ever boxed. Not one of you knows someone in the family. Well, my dad was a boxer. My uncle was a boxer. No, you don't. Not only are you not a boxer, you don't even know of a boxer. Now, I only share that because when I come out and say nobody knows what they're talking about when they're talking about boxing, like, it's not meant to be an insult. You don't know anything about boxing. It was never taught to you. None of you in recess boxed. None of your junior highs, your high schools, your colleges, your community colleges offered boxing. Your hometown didn't have a boxing gym. Now really think about that. Because as much as you love the sport and as much as you think that you understand it, not only do you not understand it, you can't even have a conversation with other people who do because they don't understand it. So what is a win? I think that time counts. I think that time is a very big deal. You're in that little bitty ring, and I know a guy